This equation forms the basis of the Citroën hydropneumatic suspension system. The surface on which a vehicle is traveling is never perfectly flat. The wheels must follow its contours. If the chassis of a vehicle is rigidly linked to its wheels, the smallest bump is integrally transmitted and it shakes the entire assembly. This phenomenon obviously increases in relation to speed. It is therefore necessary to place a flexible link between the chassis and the wheels, which means the softer the springs and the better the bumps are absorbed, comfort, and the wheels remain in contact with the ground, road holding. This is called a very soft suspension. But when the speed of the vehicle increases, the unevenness of the ground and the travel of the springs produce an oscillating movement of the chassis. It is essential to contain these oscillations as soon as they appear. A damper was invented for this purpose. Its object is to reduce the movement of the wheels and the platform. The comfort and road holding of a vehicle depend directly on its suspension system. One may therefore believe that if one has a very soft suspension, which is well damped and allows long wheel travel, one has the best suspension system in the world. And it's true. Except if one loads the vehicle, and after all, it is designed for that purpose. But soft suspension collapses under load. It is as if there were no suspension at all. However, if the car is very lightly laden, the center of gravity is lifted and road holding is affected. The solution is in fact to retain maximum flexibility in medium height. But how does one retain this ideal height when one modifies the load? With a suspension system, it is practically impossible. With the Citroën hydropneumatic suspension system, it is possible. Very simple. The spring is replaced by a gas. Each independent wheel is linked to the chassis by means of a jointed wheel arm. Any movement of this wheel arm displaces a liquid, which in turn compresses a gas contained in a sphere. As the wheel moves, it moves a piston which in turn acts on the liquid. The latter compresses the gas through a diaphragm. The gas acts as a spring. Since the system includes a liquid, it is easy to incorporate. It allows to slow down the flow of liquid between the cylinder and the sphere. Naturally, the system works both ways. The liquid is under pressure, avoiding break-in operation, and ensures highly efficient damping even for small displacements of the wheel. This type of damper does not wear and is reliable at all times, which is not the case for all dampers. As for the ideal height, this is how we work it out. When the vehicle is loaded, it sinks down. And the gas is compressed. Its volume decreases. It is then sufficient to compensate this decrease in the volume of the gas by a corresponding amount of supplementary liquid so as to return the car to its ideal height. The flow of supplementary liquid is carried out by an automatic tap, the height corrector. The liquid is pumped through under pressure by the main accumulator. The height corrector works both ways. That is, it adds liquid when the vehicle is loaded and takes it away when the vehicle is unloaded. The height corrector can also be hand-operated by the driver if he wants to increase the height of the vehicle, so as to drive over a difficult stretch, for instance. Hydropneumatic suspension combines comfort and road holding in all circumstances. This can be highlighted if a yellow luminous spot is focused on the body shell of a GS and another red on the wheel. And the same is done for the other car equipped with a conventional suspension system. These markings will allow the trajectories of the bodywork and the wheels to be monitored in the same conditions for both cars. Below, the GS. Above, the other car. Below, the bodywork has not budged thanks to hydropneumatics. Has been photographed. Thanks to hydropneumatics, a Citroën is alive. This is a car that breathes, that sighs. But it is a sigh of contentment. The pressure accumulator does not only supply the suspension system, it is also used for powering the brakes. The power brakes allow effortless braking and reduce the travel and braking response time. Safety feature and several yards are saved. And since we have a hydraulic pressure accumulator, why not use it for powering the steering as well? The CX steering system is entirely power operated when the car is stationary. The steering wheel returns automatically to the straight ahead position, but the effort exerted by the driver increases as the speed increases. Again, safety.
Bonjour. Bonjour, madame.
Would you set the seat higher up, please? Hydropneumatics is very useful.
Merci, chauffeur. Nous allons à Nogent, à l'entrée de Nogent. Je vous dirai où. Tiens, qu'est-ce qui lui arrive à ce pauvre garçon?
Oh, look, he's got a puncture.
J'espère que ça va pas nous arriver.
It becomes a substitute for the driver in order to lift or lower the car when a wheel change is needed.
Jean-Michel. Bonjour. Est-ce que ma voiture...
Is my car ready?
Oui, je crois.
Yes, sir, I think so. But Rennie's on the telephone. Oh, fine. I'll come back later to see him and pay him then.
Oui, d'accord. Ok.
And even if it is possible with the hydropneumatic system, it's not advisable to drive on 3 wheels.